Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft to Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 24. So, in last episode, we had the Year 10 draft, and it was not a very good draft for us. It was probably one of our worst drafts yet. We did have a good first selection, I'd say, with Chang Ho Chu, but at least we discovered him, because if we didn't discover him, the rest of his draft class would look pretty damn bad. Now, some guys like William Bayek, for example, Stanley Suzuki, at least they have like good starting overall, so I think they could outgrow their potentials. But obviously, it's still a little bit worrisome. Stanley Suzuki, I think, is going to be the best of the bunch because of the fact that he's got good contact hitting and also good vision and discipline. So I'm expecting him to be somebody that could easily outgrow that D potential. But like some of these other selections, like Richard Cho, not very fond of him, to be honest. Has some okay stats, but I don't know if he'll be able to outgrow that potential too much. William Fong, solid starting overall, but not really the best potential. We'll see if he outgrows his potential or not. And then Hitoki Yamaguchi is kind of an interesting one. He's more of a project third baseman, has some potential. Very low overall, though, so I do think it is going to take quite a while before he ends up developing and being something, but at least he has some potential because we do not have a lot of good third basemen on this team. So I think in general it was an okay draft, but it was definitely one of our worst of the bunch. Chang Ho Chu definitely saves it because or else it would look pretty damn bad on paper. So hoping for a better draft next year. However, we are starting to at least trend in the right direction in the MLB, so we might never have a number one overall pick again. Yeah, because I think our team is definitely on the upwards trajectory because obviously we're only a few wins away from our best winning season in franchise history. We only need 3 more wins, and then we already have the tied for the most that we've ever had before. So we're on the right trajectory at least to be making the playoffs potentially down the road too. But obviously there is still some underlying problems with this team. Like this team for some reason just struggles to score runs. So that's something that definitely needs to improve because our pitching has been pretty damn good this season. It has fallen off a little bit since 2 episodes ago, but we definitely need more out of our offense if we want to be actually a playoff team and a good one at that too. But anyways, before we get into simulating the rest of year number 10, let's get into your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say. And then we will obviously continue simulating the rest of the season. We'll get through the rest of the regular season and take a look at like award winners and that type of thing. So the first comment is from Nick Baca-Barons OC, who says, did as well as you could with that draft. And yeah, pretty much that's what we were given. There was only a couple players that we weren't able to draft that I was looking at. So like Matsui, who we were looking at as potentially our first overall pick, fell only to, I think it was like mid-first round, unfortunately. But he did not get signed up by the team that drafted him, which is exciting. So there is a chance that he could re-enter next year's draft, which means maybe a chance for us to snag him up there if he's actually good enough. Then the last and final comment is from Ryan the Sharky, who says, 1 yearly Louis and Louise inspection. Number 2, is Lawrence Matsui going to be your first rounder next year? Number 3, man, that draft was not good for the Tropic Turtles. Number 4, I think it's now a good time to extend Tom Lee and Philip Chung to long-term deals. Not sure about Nomo, though. I don't know if he could surpass his insane rookie season in the future, and I wouldn't give him big bucks at this moment. So, let's go through each one of your questions here. So the first one, the Louise and Lewis inspection. Let's go in and find those guys. I don't know if Louise got drafted, though, because I think it was last year's draft, right, that he basically didn't sign with the team. So we'll see if we could find him, but I don't know if he is in this. And then Lewis should be still in the system with some team, I guess. Oh, no, there is Louise. He was picked up by the Seattle Mariners, and he is currently in Class A. He is developing, but he's not good potential. He's got an okay starting overall, though, so maybe he becomes something for their Double-A team. But he is now in the Mariners organization. So there is Louise. And then Lewis. Let's find him. Kind of funny that both these guys appeared in the series, though. He is still in Baltimore's organization, still in Class A as a 60 overall at 21. However, he is developing quite nicely, so he might end up being a double AAA player. At least he has some potential to become something decent for them. So there is the update on Louise and Lewis. You also asked if Matsui is going to be my first pick next year. It depends on the draft class, because if there's a lot of better Asians, obviously he wouldn't really be that type of player for me. But obviously if he is a good player and he is supposed to go in the first round and there's nobody above him, maybe there's a chance we take him next year instead. And then, yeah, that wasn't a great draft for us. It was probably one of the worst ones we've had, but at least we got Chang Ho Chu. Gives us more depth at shortstop, and also a guy that could potentially play second base, which is also an area of need for our team. So I don't mind a draft in terms of that, in terms of addressing needs, but obviously it needs to be much better than that if we want to actually build a competitive team. And then you said it's time probably to extend Tom Lee and Philip Chung, but not to extend Nomo, which is interesting. Nobo's had an incredible rookie year. Now, what's something that I didn't realize in last episode, I noticed this in between episodes, was he actually also won the All-Star MVP. So he was at the All-Star game, and despite being a rookie, he actually won the MVP at that All-Star game as well, which is insane. So I feel like he almost is warranted of an extension, but I kind of see what you mean, because you never know if he's going to have a bad season next year or not. So it is a bit of a risk to do that. Example of that would be Yamazaki, because Yamazaki's had this little bit of sophomore slump. So maybe we do wait a little bit, like one more year on Nomo, like maybe next season, see how good he's doing at that point. And if he's having another good year like this, then maybe we decide to bank on him long term. So we'll probably wait on him. But yeah, with Philip Chung as our closer, he is getting close to arbitration eligible. And then Tom Lee is somebody that's definitely getting close to the free agent territory. We could definitely try and get Tom Lee signed up. I just don't know how long term. He's already 25. Trying to think of how much we would want to give him. Because if we go, you can see if we go to like 8 years, for instance, which will take him till he is 33 years old, I guess. Yeah, 33 years old. He wants like 8.5 a season, which ain't really that bad. Huh. Trying to think if he's worth that type of money. Because his career stats, he's been a good home run hitter, for sure. His average is the best of his career this year. He's definitely having his best season yet. Yeah, he's having his best season of his career right now. Yeah, I think we're going to extend him to like an 8-year deal. Because I think it's worth it at that type of money. So let me actually do this so I can actually do this the correct way. Because, or else I'm going to get complained to again. Let's go 1 year, 10 million, 20, 30... Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Now we're doing it properly, I think. And then let's talk him down a little bit till we get the interest still in green, but not where it's too much. See, now that's actually how you do the contract stuff properly. It's funny how I was struggling to do it before. So now we should be able to just put this down until he gets to a point where, or we get to a point where we think we could get him for 45.5, which would be an AAV of 5.7 a year. That's pretty good. That's pretty good with me. Let's offer that to Tom Lee and see if he'll accept. And he will. Nice. That's perfect. I think I might wait on like Chung and some of the other guys for the offseason, though, because Chung still has a little bit of leeway. But obviously he's going to become pretty expensive at some point. But let me take a look at that Tom Lee contract we just gave him. Yeah, that's a great contract, I think. Considering he should be able to bring in a decent amount of home runs and all that. Going to only $5.7 million a year for 8 years. Like, we could even give him more than 8 years, but I like that a lot. He's our number one outfielder pretty much, so I will definitely take that. Love that. Perfect. Okay, that's the only contract extension I'm going to do in the beginning of this episode. Now, I am recording this episode on Saturday, so if you are commenting this on this video on the old video on Sunday or Monday, there's this video was already recorded ahead of time, so I apologize about that. I just really wanted to get through the rest of the season and see how this team finishes off. So I do actually want to take a look at how much Nomo is trying to get right now, out of curiosity. I know that we don't want to give him his contract yet, but if you go more than 6 years, he thinks he's going to be worth like $20 million a season, which is quite insane. But let me actually see how much that would cost us. So if I go like this to like, let's go to 10 million bucks or something like that. 8 years. I actually might not be able to get him on that expensive of a contract. Yeah, he's not going to get 19.6, I guess, a season. Like, it'd be probably looking towards 7.8 a year. Which, for that home run total, isn't really that bad. But I'm going to wait till next year just in case, like you guys were saying. But I think we are ready to continue simulating. So let's flip on over to the AA season, because the AA season ends first. Obviously, we're going to have to do our September call-ups at some point, but let's get through the rest of this month with the AA team and see how they finish off their year, and hopefully some of our prospects have some good results. Yokoyama's got shoulder tightness. We'll go auto on that, but that kind of sucks. He's already back, which is good. And then he's also sustained another injury, apparently. Pulled groin. Poor guy has got 2 injuries within the span of like 4 days. Yamazaki's got a bruised hand. Let's go auto on that. Yokoyama's back. That's good. Shin is not injured any longer. That's good because he was injured for a long time. Yamazaki's back as well. A lot of injuries as usual. And Yokoyama has injured himself for the 3rd time this month. What the hell? He's broken his foot and he's out for 2 to 3 months. That's a pretty substantial injury for one of our better players. That sucks, man. That sucks. I was hoping for a good year from Yokoyama. And unfortunately, his season is done, I think. Yeah, broken foot, 2 to 3 months. His durability, how bad is it? It's an 82, and he got injured 3 times that month. Well, that sucks for our season. He was doing relatively well. Almost the same amount of home runs, less RBIs. His batting average improved. So there's Yokoyama's final numbers for the season, so you guys can kind of see if he wants a boost or not. But it sucks that he got injured. It really does. So there is Yokoyama. Let's get the rest of AA done here. 2 valid lineups. We need another valid lineup, okay? So what do we need here is a second baseman, which means Michael Fong is going to be in, which he's not very good. So kind of sucks that he has to be thrown into the lineup. But that's what has to happen when we have those injuries. So we will readdress this a little bit here. So Fong's the 9 guy because he's not very good. He's not very good. All right, AA. Let's get the rest of this done because I just want to get through the season kind of quick, but not too quick. And we're at our September call-up stage. All right, we are 52 and 81 now in the MLB, which means how did we do that month? 4-1, 5-2, 6-2, 2-1, 3-0, 7-1, 6-3. Okay. Definitely still falling off quite a bit, but 52 wins. That's our best season in franchise history. So congrats to the Tropic Turtles and their best season yet. I don't know if we're going to hit 60 wins this year based on how we're playing as of late, but we need to call up some people. We need to call up 3 guys. Let's go to our 40-man roster and see who I would call up. If there's any prospects worth coming up for the rest of the season. So Mark Taguchi could come back up. Here's his stats right now through AAA. Just in case you guys want to keep note of that for potential boosts. Brian Shin. I could call up Brian Shin as well. Here's his stats through AAA. Trying to think. I don't want to call up Chung for sure. I could call up somebody just like Shane Sasaki who doesn't matter too much either. Yeah, let's call up Sasaki to the MLB. We will call up Brian Shin to the MLB. And I think I'm going to call up Taguchi to the MLB as well. Just give those guys a chance in the second half. Now, AAA needs more players, so we are going to move some guys from AA. Like Champlain Whitfield. He's going to go to triple. We will also move Chris Price to triple. And then we will probably move nobody else. We'll move some people from Class A, so we'll move... let's give Saito a chance to play the rest of the season in AA. Even though he's not very good yet, might as well give him a chance there. And we'll also get Ziborinsky moved to AA too to fill up those spots. Perfect. I think we are good with that. Let's go back to AA and get the rest of their season completed so we could take a look at their stats. AAA doesn't have 2 valid lineups. Let me adjust these lineups, I guess, too. And AA needs their lineup adjusted, so they have a first, second, third, a shortstop, right fielder, center fielder. They need a left fielder in, which is where Ziborinsky is going to come in. So we'll throw Ziborinsky into both these spots. Saito could play in the lineup, but he's going to be a bench bat, I guess, for now. We'll flip over to AAA. We will throw in ourselves. We need outfielders, right? Yes, wait, a right fielder, which we have Price. And what's the other position we need? A second baseman, I think. Yeah, second baseman. So that's where Knowles will come in. Perfect. Always good when you have some depth to your roster a bit so you could actually make some adjustments easily. All right. So let's get the rest of AA done now and take a look at their player stats, of course, to see if we have any guys that are going to get some good boosts this season. Auto on Logan Allen, and auto on that again, and perfect. So the AA team finishes 10-59 on the year, not too bad. Let's take a look at their stats. So we go to the pitching rotation. We don't have any starting pitchers down there, so it doesn't matter. But our relievers, Akio Yamamoto, another solid season from him. Good ERA, good whip, and a solid record. For 59 overall, I'll take it. So a good year from Akio Yamamoto. Philippe Rabo as well was pretty good despite losing every single game. He had more strikeouts than innings pitched. So a couple of the AA relievers doing good so far here. Pete Quo, pretty solid numbers. Probably the worst of the bunch in a sense. Yeah, probably the worst of the bunch, but still good numbers. Nakamura was also good. Yeah, it looks like a lot of these relievers actually are doing good. So I'm liking that. Juan Yangchang was solid too. Vincent Wong, probably the worst of the guys based on the ERA. He is dropping down apparently. Tom Ann, not the best numbers as well, but that's okay, and that's pretty much it. So from a relief perspective, not bad. What about batting? Because I'm curious on the batters. Russell Lim, a 252 average, only 2 home runs but 35 RBIs. Okay season from him. He is a low overall, and this was his rookie season, I believe. Then we have Tadahito Taguchi, who had a great year. Great year from Tadahito Taguchi. 8 home runs, 30 RBIs isn't insane, but a 289 average is very good. 778 OPS. Yeah, Taguchi is having a good year, so he's probably in line for a boost. Sal Chen, a 261 average, ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. And then he also had 8 home runs. Richard Chen, not bad, a 251 average. Okay, 9 home runs. How was the WAR looking? -0.9, but that's okay. Koji Yamazaki, 16 home runs is fantastic, so he's more of a home run guy. He also had a lot of RBIs, but the 225 average isn't that great. So, a bit of a mixed season for Koji Yamazaki. William Bike, the shortstop, not the one that we just recently drafted. A 238 average. Not a lot of home runs and RBIs, but he is up to a 71 now. Still seems to be struggling a little bit, so I probably need to get his contact numbers up to a bit. But he is a better defensive player, I believe. Like, he's a defense first dude, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I think he's a defense first. Where's the putouts and stuff? 196 putouts, fielding percentage of 980. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I think he's defense first. And those guys don't matter. Okay, what about Saito? Did he play any games? He played a little bit, 19 at-bats and a 211 average. It's better than some guys on the team, so I'll take it. I will take it. So there is AA. Now let's flip over to AAA, where we are 43 and 101. Apparently our MLB team now has the 4th best pitching in the entire league, which is kind of insane. But we will take a look at that in a little bit. Let's get through this last series against whatever this is, Sugarland. And our team finishes 45 and 105 in AAA. So let's take a look at the player stats for the AAA roster. Starting off with Vincent Tan, who could be MLB bound next season. He probably is because he's 79 now. He had a pretty good year. 3.92 ERA, 1.38 whip. He had a winning record, 30 games started, 16 quality starts. So yeah, I think Vincent Tan's going to get into the number 4 or 5 spot, which means Na and Matsui, one of them might be out of the lineup next season, which is interesting. Kazuhito Hayashi also could force his way into the lineup next season as a 78, which means both those number 4 and 5 guys might be gone. They were our weak link, and we might have replacements, which is exciting. 29 games started and 19 quality starts. That's really good. So great year from Kaz. Very excited to see both those guys in the MLB at some point. And Kenny Rabu kind of struggled, to be honest, I think. Let's see. 15 quality starts to suggest otherwise. Half of his games were good games. So despite the ERA and the whip being pretty bad, he looks like he had an okay season. David Lim as a reliever. Not great stats. Doesn't have the most potential in the world, but he did start a game as well, so maybe that hurt his ERA a bit. Positive WAR, okay. Tommy Wong was pretty good. Not a winning record, but a decent ERA and whip as well. Yeah, that's not bad. Positive WAR. Austin Choi. Not too bad. Not too bad on his account. Yeah, it seems like a lot of our pitching players are doing relatively well in the system. Yamada, not the best. He's kind of like a weird player. Dropped down to D potential. His overall is dropping still. I don't know if this guy's ever going to develop, unfortunately. I thought he would when we drafted him because he was a high overall, but he has not really done that well. And Vincent Chang, the closer, not bad, not bad. This was his rookie season in AAA, and he had really good ERA, really good whip. Went 90 innings as a closer as well, with 84 strikeouts. Only blown one save out of his 34 save attempts, I guess. And he had a hold as well. Yeah, Vincent Chang was great. He was great, so he is getting close to being an MLB closer as well, or a setup guy. But that is that for AAA. What about batters for AAA? Robert Yabu on a 292. I know he's old at this point, kind of, but he is having some good years in AAA. Might be an okay bat off the in the MLB at some point, just based on the contact and vision discipline. So shout out to Yabu. Theodore Lee 257, not too bad. Probably getting closer to the majors. He is a very good contact hitter, and very good vision discipline as well. Actually, vision, I should say, not discipline, but I think he's definitely major league bound soon. He might be low overall, but he could definitely play on the major league team with those contact numbers. Then we also have Tom Cho at 250. I mean, it's better than below a 250. That's a relatively respectable season for a 19-year-old. Really bad WAR, though. Russell Yang as a DH had a great year. 16 home runs, 65 RBIs, a 270 average. So Yang and Yabu looking pretty good despite being 26 and 28 years old. Huh. Like that. Jeff Ishii at 230. 40 RBIs is not too bad, but the average a little bit low. He is a low potential guy. He's already 24 as well. So I don't expect him to really grow that much, but not bad. William Chung, 15 home runs is good. 56 RBIs as well. A 230 average. I think he is improving. Even though he's still not putting up crazy numbers, he is improving from his earlier years. He's up to a 69 at 25, so he might be getting closer to finally making it to the majors. And then Stanley Oka, the shortstop, 9 home runs, 48 RBIs at 233 average, up to a 73 at 22. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of prospects that are getting close to major league bound, which is exciting. And that is it for AAA. Okay, now comes the fun part. MLB, we are now 61 and 95, so we won another 10 more games, I guess, during that stretch or so. Including a 6-3 win, a 5-3 win, a 6-4 win, 6-1 win, 7-6 win, 5-2 win, 11-6 win, 5-2 win, and a 3-1 win. We're on our longest win streak of our entire franchise, I think. We won 6 games in a row up to this point, which is kind of insane. Speaking of 6 wins in a row, that's also the more wins than we ever had in our first 6 seasons, 7 seasons, 8 seasons. I don't even know exactly, but this team is doing well. 61 and 95 has us still in last place in our division, but we are definitely doing a lot better than in years past. We have still 6 more games left this season, so let's wrap up those 6 games and see how we finish off the season. Our winning streak, of course, came to an end, but we do beat Houston to end off September, and we got 2 games left against Houston, both early games. They are a great team right now, 91 and 69, so any win against them is a pretty big step. Can we have less than 100 losses? Because if we win one of these 2 games, we will not have 100 losses in a season. We are 62 and 98, so if we could win one of these 2, that would be nice. So let's take it 1 game at a time for fun. Can we win this first game? No, we cannot, which means we are 62 and 99. Comes down to this last game. Will we have 100 regulation losses again, or will we not have triple-digit losses? Let's see. We win 17-6 against a playoff team. We finished 63 and 99, so no 100 losses for the team this season. But what a last game of the season. If that's a sign of things to come, hopefully that is. Because, geez, 17 runs scored against a playoff team. I got to take a look at that here. 5 RBI game for Tom Lee. Wow, okay. All right. A lot of home runs in that game as well. A lot of RBIs from multiple guys. All right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at some player stats. Looks like we got some award winners as well, which is exciting. But let's first look at our player stats, starting off with our pitching rotation. Parker Iwamura, 11-12 record, 3.66 ERA, a 1.21 whip. He's up to a 96 overall. Absolutely insane. He had 21 quality starts, so another good year from Parker Iwamura. And let me see. Good WAR. FIP was good. He actually corrected his FIP too, because his FIP used to be not that good. But Parker, another good season from him. Looks like he didn't win any awards this season because there's no award tab for him yet, but he has been great, and hopefully he can continue to do that going forward. So aside from Parker, Walter Jung, 5.37 ERA is not great. 1.47 whip isn't either. The record is not the best, but not the worst. Let's see the quality starts. So 33 games started, 11 quality starts, so 1 out of every 3 games. So yeah, Walter is still kind of struggling a bit. At least he's not getting paid crazy amounts, but he's still not been super good. His FIP is good, though. So I still don't understand what to make of him. Low quality starts, not great ERA, a little bit of a high whip as well. But his FIP number suggests that he's actually been good. So he's a really weird player. Really, really weird one. Then we go to our next player, Stan Nguyen. Fantastic season from him. Obviously, he was injured a little bit. But a 2.96 ERA through 185.2 innings. And a great whip, too. Stan was a beast. And there's a chance that he's going to be our number 2 guy next year. But he could easily be an ace. 32 games started because he missed some due to injury. 17 quality starts, so not as much as Parker, but that's still good. He had a better WAR, though, and that FIP was insanely good. So, and he did win an award this season. He won an award this season. No, I know. Is it the All-Star game? It might have been the All-Star game. It's not an individual award. I don't think he won the Cy Young this year, but we'll take a look at that when we get to that point. I think it was an All-Star representation. That's the award part. David Naw was trash. Only won 3 of his 18 starts. Is there any positives to take away from his season? 12 quality starts is okay. It's okay. It's better than Jung in terms of quality starts, which is kind of weird. But that FIP number is atrocious. So, yeah, David Naw and such might get replaced next season by like Vincent Tan easily. And Robert Matsui was probably even worse. Worse ERA, worse FIP. He had a better record, but does that mean anything? 32 games started, 11 quality starts. Just barely a positive WAR, but a trash FIP as well. Yeah, these 2 guys might get replaced. But then they might go back to the minors because they do still have all their options, which is nice. In terms of our relievers, Walter Cho was relatively good. Winning record, solid ERA, a little bit of a high whip. But he did have more strikeouts than innings pitched, so not bad from the 30-year-old. I don't really expect him to get much growth, but that's okay. Leonard Soto, winning record 85 overall as a reliever. Let's take a look at those stats. Better ERA than last year, better whip than last year. Relatively similar WAR, better FIP. Leonard Soto was great, so shout out to the Soto. Kaz got called up, I guess, but obviously he'll be on the team next season probably. Eric Yamamoto was really good. Eric Yamamoto was really good, it looks like, as well. Good ERA. Whip a little tiny bit high, but not too much. FIP was also a little bit high, but still it's not atrocious compared to like David Naw, for example. Eric Yamashita was really good. Yeah, he was also pretty good. 2.83 ERA. How is these stats looking here? Good whip as well. FIP was a little high, but it was a rookie year for him. Not bad. Philip Chung's numbers definitely improved when he got moved to mid-reliever, I think. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that whip is good. The ERA, better than last year. The FIP also improved, so he definitely got better as the season went on, which is exciting. Walter Lee is a setup guy. Lost every game that he technically was in for, or technically had the chance to be for record, I guess. But his ERA was good, and his FIP was really good. So Walter Lee, surprisingly one of the best relievers, but then again, he didn't really pitch that much innings. And Tom Koo is a closer. Still good. Still good. 15 saves, blue 6. But great ERA, great whip. His FIP was really good too. So shout out to Tom Koo. He also has an award, but it's probably the All-Star game from a few years ago. Alright, our batters. This is where it's probably not going to be super good because our batters obviously kind of had a struggling season. But Kevin Sato had a 297 average. That's pretty damn good. Pretty good. He is only making 2.7 million, but a really good average. His home run count a little bit less than last year. RBI count right around the same. But yeah, Sato was good. Sato is one of the best players probably on the roster in terms of batting. So I'll take it. Looks like he won an award, which I think that was also in the All-Star game from a few years ago. Peter Yamazaki definitely had a better second half of the season. Started off relatively slow, but 19 home runs and 59 RBIs. Obviously, his average dropped off quite a bit from last year, but still, he had a relatively respectable year, so at least he seemed to find himself a little bit. And then his WAR was also pretty good, so shout out to Yamazaki. Tom Lee, who recently got extended 23 home runs and 60 RBIs, a little bit of a low average for him, but if we get those vision and discipline numbers up there, he should be okay. But that is the second best average of his career. That is tied for the most home runs and just barely misses the RBIs. So he's pretty consistent. And his money that we're paying him is not really that bad. So I'll take it. Like 5.7 million isn't going to break the bank too much. Charles Nomo apparently was quiet as of late. He's up to an 80 overall. How did he finish his rookie season? Wow. 33 home runs in his rookie season, 98 RBIs. His average dropped to a 222, but he almost had 100 RBIs in his rookie year. So he's definitely rookie of the year. There's no question about that. Yeah, that's an insane rookie year in terms of like home runs and such. The OPS is a little bit low, but that's only because his average is low. So obviously if we could find a way to get his vision and discipline up there, he's going to be really good in terms of average as well. Or solid in average at least. Yeah, he's definitely the best power hitter on this team. So that's why I'm thinking we need to lock him up. Even if it's going to cost us a lot. According to us, though, we also on top of that, we have some other really good power hitters, though, like Raymond Park. Not a great average, but 23 home runs and 64 RBIs in his first season. So a lot of the guys that jumped to our team provided a bit of a power boost, which is nice. Yeah, not bad from Raymond Park. He's not a huge potential guy, but still nice home runs. Vincent Seo, 16 home runs, 46 RBIs, a 260 average. I like the average. I like that. A little bit less than last year. More home runs, less RBIs, similar OPS. He's still pretty consistent, and also he could steal bases too, right? Yeah, 10 stolen bases. Not as much as last year, but he is a good speed demon. Good doubles, triples. Not too bad from the CO. David Sasaki, a 210 average. 19 home runs, though. So we do have a good amount of power hitters in terms of home runs, but we don't really have those contact guys to get on base all the time. That's what it seems like right now. So yeah, Sasaki had the best year of his career. His average has been better every year too. So he's slowly producing into being a decent player. And Michael Fong obviously had to come in because Yokoyama's injury. 212 average. Not really that great. He was a Rule 5 pickup. So I don't really expect too much from him, but there you go. In terms of other guys, Philip Nishi had 6 home runs, 24 RBIs at 233 average. Not bad. Did improve a bit from last year. Way less RBIs, but also didn't get as much games in. But much better OPS too. Yeah, not too bad from Danishi. Takashi, not great. He has been more of a bench bat. He was more of a stopgap kind of with Nomo. And yeah, I don't really know what to make of him. He's maybe just going to be more of a bench bat his entire career. I don't know. Mark Taguchi got called up, had a 250 average through 4 at-bats. Didn't hit a single home run, but that's okay. Not bad for a short little span. Brian Chu, 292 at-bats, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, but a 199 average. Yeah, Brian Chu isn't the best. Does have some pop to his game, which is nice. But, yeah, kind of struggled off the bench. Yeah, not too good. William Chung apparently got called up, but he didn't play anything, and that's it. All right. Well, now comes the fun part, the award winners, and we'll also take a look at, like, league leaders and all that stuff. So, first and foremost, let's actually go to the league leaders and also our team ranks and stuff. Actually, I don't need to remove my face because it's just overall rating, but let's see if there's any guys up there for us in terms of stuff like batting and all that. Probably not, but Oh, Charles Nomo was number 5 in home runs in his first season. That's incredible. He was actually very close to being the second best in the AL in home runs. Yeah, that's really respectable. So shout out to Charles Nomo, who could have been he could definitely be in the home run derby next season if he continues like this. So shout out to Nomo. RBI count, he would have been just outside of the top 10, I think. Yeah, just outside of the top 10 at number 11. Not too bad. Runs, nobody up there. Stolen bases, nobody up there. We do have somebody on base percentage. It was Kevin Sato. Nice. Slugging percentage, nobody up there. OPS, nobody up there. What about wins for pitchers? No. Losses, nobody up there. Saves, ERA. Stan Nguyen was number 2 in ERA, behind Noble Meyer. So, I wonder if Nguyen was a finalist at least for the Cy Young this year. Probably not based on the win-loss ratio, but you never know. Home runs, Stan Nguyen was number 2 in terms of home runs allowed. Michael Oliva was number 1. I think that crown means Michael Oliva might have won the Cy Young this year, but I don't know. Shutouts, nobody up there. Strikeouts, nobody up there. Complete games, nobody up there. 3 pitchers and walks allowed. Nguyen, Iwamura, and Jung in the top 5 for walks allowed. So we do not issue a lot of free passes, which is good. In terms of whip, we had 2 guys in the top 10. Stan Nguyen and Parker Iwamura. Hunter Brown was number 1. He might have won the Cy Young. Pitching WAR, Stan was number 5. It might be Paul Skeens also that could have won the Cy Young. And then batting, nobody up there. Okay. Let's take a look also at team rankings before we take a look at the award winners. So batting average, we are dead last again. But I think it will improve if we could get some good contact hitters into the lineup. Runs, we are dead last. Not by much. Hits, we were dead last. Doubles, we were dead last. Triples, we were not dead last. We were 23rd. Home runs, we were not dead last either. We were actually 22nd in home runs. Most of those coming from Nomo, Lee, and Park. RBIs, probably dead last. Yep, dead last. Stolen bases, not dead last. Tied for 8th. So we got a little bit of speed to our game. I like to see that. Caught stealing, we were ranked 3rd. So we actually had the second best stolen base percentage in the league. So that's good. We will be a quick team if we get to the playoffs at some point. Walks, dead last. Strikeouts, probably dead last or close to dead last. 25th. Tied for 25th, I should say. What else we got here? Grounded double plays. We didn't ground into a lot of double plays despite not getting on base a lot, so that's good. What else we got here? ERA, we finished not dead last in ERA, obviously, because we were a good pitching team. We were actually a top 10 team in pitching this entire season as we finished number 9. That's respectable. And under 4 ERA as a team. So there's some great positives to take away from that. Anything else I want to take a look at in this award thing? Don't think so. No. We were the worst team in the league, but not by much. So that's unfortunate because I thought we weren't going to finish as the worst team, but we definitely did. But who knows? Maybe next year we won't be the worst team. Also, let me take a look at this. Actually, that hasn't updated yet. Let's take a look at the award winners, and then that'll be it for this episode, I think, at this point after that. So, Player of the Month first. Let me just take a look at this. Looks like we didn't have any more since the Nomo Nguyen stuff. But in terms of individual awards, Charles Nomo was the Rookie of the Year, but that's our only award this season. That's our only award. That kind of sucks. But let's go through this. So Casas, MVP. Skeens won the Cy Young. And yeah, Stan Nguyen wasn't up there because he didn't have enough wins in games played or innings pitched. But Stan could be up there at some point down the road for sure. But shout out to Paul Skeens. Batting title, Evan Carter. Jimmy Gaudio, reliever of the year. Shout out to Dane Gooch. What the hell's with that last name, man? Gooch. Oh, yeah, and there's Rookie of the Year. Charles Nomo. The next 2 guys were both Minnesota Twins guys. Nino Zavala and Lester Ruiz. But Charles Nomo, easily the Rookie of the Year with the amount of home runs and RBIs. And yeah, 2 years ago, Tom Lee won, so we've been building up some good rookies. Hank Aaron, Evan Carter. The rest of the stuff doesn't matter too much. Yamazaki got a Gold Glove. I'll take that. So that's his award. So shout out to the Yamazaki. And then that might be the only gold glove we got this season, right? Yeah, I think so. Yep. And then these silver sluggers don't matter too much, but we'll skim through these as well a little bit. Yeah, we had nobody up there for any silver sluggers. But that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft Glory franchise mode. So next episode, we will take it to the year 10 offseason. We're going to continue building this team up, obviously, and hopefully developing them in the right way. Because I think, obviously, if we get some good contact hitters into our lineup like Theodore Lee, I think, obviously, we're going to start getting more hits, and that's going to transition into good offense, which we already have good defense and pitching. It's just all about now getting that offense going, and I think this team can eventually get into the playoffs, because now that we've won 60-plus games, we are definitely trending to the area where we're going to be getting closer and closer to being a 500 team, which is exciting. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.